Hey now, welcome back to Lone Star Mini Restoration. Today's goal is simply to remove these two sprockets and timing chain. All right, before I get going, I want to make a couple observations. This gasket here, I believe is the correct gasket around the timing chain cover. This was put on about 3 years ago when a friend of mine visited from the UK. Mr. Pete Raymond helped me put that on. Now he did a lot of the work, so I didn't remember how we removed some of the stuff. That's why I filmed it in previous videos. But one observation, so this gasket, let's say, is 3 years old. This engine has not been run hard at all. But look at these cracks here and here in this gasket. That one right there is about to break through. It's hanging on by a thread. And then a similar one right here on the bottom side of the gasket, there's a crack there. So naturally, I'm wondering, what did we torque the bolts too tight there, causing this to happen? What would cause that kind of stuff? I don't know. It's just an observation now that I've notated. Below the timing chain, there are two cap screws here. Here's one of them right here. You can see it under the timing chain right there. There's another one on the other side over there. You can see the edge of it. Those guys, I originally thought that I would have to remove them before I could separate between the block and the gearbox, but that's not true. I was sent a video by Richard Allen with Mini Performance YouTube site. He's awesome. If you haven't seen his site, please go check him out. But Mini Performance is his YouTube channel. Well, he contacted me and he showed me video of how this is assembled. So these bolts, and when I take all this apart, it'll become more apparent. But with this plate and this timing gear in place, it leads, and looking at that and looking in the sides, it makes me believe that those cap screws go into the gearbox. They do not. So note to myself that the engine block and the gearbox can be separated right now with the timing chain installed onto the engine block. Per the Haynes manual, one of the first instructions when removing the timing chain and sprockets is to make sure that the engine is in top dead, cylinder one is in top dead center. So I'm taking a pry bar and I'm rotating the crankshaft and trying to watch it as it rises and falls. So like right there, I believe is top dead center. So that's where I'll leave it. All right, for the heck of it, I'm going to remove this alternator adjustment bracket, tensioning bracket. I don't know what you call it, but there's these guys attached to this plate. And look at this. I just want to point out somebody, whoever had this in the past, totally boogered it up. Instead of doing the job right, they had to go modify that. So, alternator adjustment bracket off. All right, the next thing is this timing chain tensioner. Takes two 1/2-inch bolts. All right. Timing chain tensioner. Look at that. That's interesting. All right, next is to remove this. It's called an oil thrower. It's keyed, so it fits on there one way, like that. But I don't know why, I don't understand why it's called an oil thrower. There's some etching on that, but so done, removed. So next is to remove this locking washer, bend this tab back on this locking washer. All right, that's probably sufficient. Now I've got to go find the right size for this bolt. This is a camshaft lock bolt, I guess. Camshaft, crankshaft, right? Camshaft, sprocket, crankshaft, sprocket. With the tab bent back out, I'm going to use my impact gun to try to remove that because I think this might try to spin. I'm not sure. But with the impact gun, it will work. Now, this nut takes a 1 5/16 socket or wrench. Oh, okay, it's off. There we go. So there's that bad boy, and then I'll definitely be replacing that. Oh, that's like a keyed lock washer. That's interesting. There's a tick on the end of that. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's a scratch, but anyhow, all right, so that's off. Now, I get to pull these two sprockets off, hopefully at the same time. The Haynes manual says you can get 2 screwdrivers in here, pry them a little at a time, and I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, that one's already popped. Boy, that was loose. I think I can pull that off by hand. Let's try. All right, look at that. So both sprockets off. I'm going to leave them on the timing chains. It'll fall apart easily, but I'm going to try to leave them together for now. So, done. I'm probably going to take this plate off and this plate here, take these 2 cap screws off, and then this whole plate will come off. Let's try. Like the cap screws that held the timing cover on, these are 5mm hex head. And these 3 screws here are 3/8. All right, with this plate. I did not observe where that hole was in relationship, whether it was there or there, but at least now I have video so I can go back and look. All right, so I believe this plate should now come off. Whoa! There it's off, and along with the gasket came with it. So that plate is now off. A quick thank you. And since I have started taking the engine apart, I have begun to receive some fabulous education from people. Pete Raymond is awesome. Then there's a YouTube channel, Mini Performance, Rich Allen. He has offered just recently some fabulous information. So thank you guys. Thank you for any and all input that's available. As you can see, this side of the engine is clear. My next step, one small step at a time again, but my next step is to flip this over to start accessing all the bolts and remove the engine block from the gearbox housing. As always, if there's something that I've done wrong, incorrectly, whatever the case may be, I'm an open book. Please share your knowledge, and hopefully I can learn from it. All right, bye just now.